A moment of silence, honoring frontline workers who lost their lives while fighting against the coronavirus pandemic.
Mr. Tendai Mtwira, Dr. Ashok Mora.
As their names were being called out, it painted the picture of just how much toll the pandemic has taken.
They are irreplaceable, my friends. You know, it's going to be very difficult to find another Dr. Mtwira in the profession. It's going to be very difficult to find another Professor Hakim in the profession. All we can do as a profession is to continue, growing the profession right from the medical school and keep on training individuals who have the potential to become their own unique professionals in the contribution to health.
All the health workers who had the difficult task of looking after our colleagues in their final journey. It's not easy watching someone you know and respect slipping away and feeling helpless to stop it. I would also like to acknowledge all health workers nationwide who've been giving their all in this fight against COVID, often under very difficult conditions with very little reward.
This doctor says she witnessed unmentionable sacrifices from her colleagues.
I remember the very first patient we intubated at Parenyato Hospital, COVID unit. At the end of the first week shift, there was no one to replace the intensive care nurse who was due to go off duty because things were very unsettled. There was lots of fear at the time. She then decided to continue because she said she couldn't leave the patient at this stage because it was as good as a death sentence. She continued to nurse him for almost 2 weeks straight. This was at a time when the nurses were staying on the hospital, so she didn't go home for 2 weeks until we took him off the vent and he eventually went home. And this is just one example of the many unsung and heroic sacrifices being made by healthcare workers every day across the country.
A moment of silence.
Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa declared COVID-19 a national disaster on March 18th last year, even before the country had recorded a single infection. He said the pandemic complicated government's strategy to turn around the crippled public healthcare system.
Most of the gains made in the health sector have suffered greatly due to threats related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many nations are in turmoil. Zimbabwe, like many other countries, has not been spared from the unprecedented scourge as we witnessed a sharp increase in number of infection cases and deaths to levels we had not anticipated. To date, Zimbabwe has recorded a total of 5,366 deaths. Of these, 24 are from our health care workers. Countrymen and women, allow me to acknowledge and appreciate the relentless fight put forward by our health care workers.
Over the past weeks, Zimbabwe's deaths and infections have been falling, but authorities are still grappling with the low uptake of vaccinations.